Hey guys, James. Just want to jump on here for a little bit today and talk to you about Sukkot coming up. So, as you know, Sukkot, September the 18th through the 26th, uh, we were going to close registration on the 31st. However, it was brought to my attention that a lot of people may be on fixed incomes and they don't get paid until the 3rd. So, for that reason, we're going to leave the registration open until the 4th of September. Okay. The 4th of September, if you don't know, is the first day of the seventh month. It is Yom Teruah. So hopefully everybody will be registered before then. Uh, let me just since I talked about that, let me just talk about the dates um, there for the fall feast. Let me pull that up real quick here. Let me go to this monitor. Okay, so as you can see, the fall feast here, the day of shouting or the day of trumpets or Yom Teruah, is Wednesday, September the 4th through Thursday, September the 5th. The Day of Atonement will be Friday, September the 13th through Saturday, September the 14th. And the Feast of Tabernacles begins September the 18th at sunset through, uh, that's the first day, uh, September the 19th, which is a Sabbath. So hopefully everybody's set up before sundown on the 18th. Hopefully you get there early on the 18th and you're all set up before sundown happens because Sabbath begins at sundown on the 18th. Uh, the eighth day assembly, or which is another Sabbath, the eighth day of Sukkot, the last great day, as many would refer to it, begins Wednesday, September the 25th through Thursday, September the 26th. Okay. I am right now in the office working and changing the dates on this calendar um, so we can have next year's calendar because of the way the calendar worked out this year. There's almost no doubt that we're going to have an early um, um, first month next year. Uh, I've never seen it not happen that way. So we're probably looking at Passover in March instead of April. I don't know. I'm working all of that out right now. Hopefully, I'll get all that worked out today. That way, at Sukkot, I can hand everybody a calendar for next year's feast cycle. For those who are on the sighted new moon, a bee barley calendar. Okay. There's plenty of other calendars out there floating around. What I will say is we were having a discussion today in the Bet Hallel chat about the feast cycle and how the, that many people are already recognizing that the leaves are changing. If you're looking at Israel as your marker, they're already started in on the date harvest. So I mean, we are at the end of the harvest cycle when we start doing the date harvest. I mean, they've already harvested apples and pears and peaches and all of that stuff. Now we're at the date harvest, which is normally falls to the end of that harvest cycle. I'm sure many of you at nighttime have already been starting to feel that fall weather pulling in. Those of us that rely on the feast schedule, I know that you're already getting that like it is when you first start realizing the Sabbath. When Friday night comes around, that excitement that starts coming up in you. I know when you start feeling that wind change, that excitement's coming up in you for the fall feast. So trust the Holy Spirit that's in you. That's Him that is prompting you, going, wow, we're there. So for all those people who chose to be on a calendar a month later this year, I've if you understand the significance of the sighted new moon, a bee barley calendar, I just want to throw this out there, okay? If you know the truth about that calendar, and you of your own will have decided to operate on another calendar, what happens once you get to Sukkot this year, or to Yom Kippur this year? Because Yom Kippur, very specific command coming there at Yom Kippur. So I want to read that real quick, and then you can just take it for whatever you want to take it for. It's Leviticus chapter 23. So start at verse 26. It says, "And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of the 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh." Now, typically, most people would fast during that day. We know that the Levitical priesthood is established right now, so the offering made by fire is held in suspense until they're in operation. Leviticus 23:28, "And ye shall do no servile work in that same day, for it is in a day of atonement to make an atonement for you before Yahweh your Elohim. For whatsoever soul it be," now pay close attention, I'm going to start that over. "For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people." Okay, so this is what would happen is if you committed a great sin where you had to be placed outside the camp. Okay, until Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur was the day that all of those sins that you might have been placed outside the camp for and not allowed to come to the tabernacle or anything like that for, that would be the day that all of that was taken care of, and then you were accepted back into the community and able to go to the temple on your own and offer your own sacrifices and all of that kind of stuff. But he's saying if you don't afflict your soul on that day, he's being very specific on that day, then you'll be cut off from among his people. But he doesn't stop there, because there's even a greater punishment that follows. Verse 30 says, "And whatsoever soul it be that doth any work in that same day, the same soul let me start that over. And whatsoever soul it be that doth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people." Okay, that's saying he's going to completely cut you off away from Israel. So understand how significant that this day of Yom Kippur is. And if you've made the decision of your own will because you wanted to do Sukkot with your friends and your family, like it's a party and not a commanded feast day for Yahweh, it doesn't belong to you. It's just like the Sabbath. It doesn't belong to us. It's not our party days. It's not our come together days. It's a days set apart to worship Yahweh, to have a holy convocation with him. Okay. 31, "And you shall do no manner of work in it. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings." So this doesn't mean in the land. This means in every dwelling that you can ever dwell in anywhere across the world. You cannot do any work on this day, period. Okay? It's not my words, it's his. If we're going to claim to be Torah observant. So I'm just telling you, if you have made that choice this year to celebrate Sukkot a month later because you wanted to be with your friends or your family, or because you had already made commitments the previous year, or whatever reason that you're trying to justify that with, okay, don't miss Yom Kippur this year. Please, please don't miss it. Do 2 Yom Kippurs. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. Err on the side of caution, okay? So that Day of Atonement, again, is Friday, September the 13th through Saturday, September the 14th. Now, for those who know, that's a weekly Sabbath. So normally on a weekly Sabbath, that is a feast day. We would never normally fast on a feast day. But because it's the Day of Atonement, the Day of Atonement takes precedence. And most people who consider the afflicting of their souls to be fasting, they would fast from the evening of the 13th through the evening of the 14th. Okay. So this year, if I'm just giving you a word of caution, or you can just harden your heart against some old red-headed rabbi in Stillwell, Oklahoma, and do whatever you want to do. But I'm giving you a word of caution. If you claim to be Torah observant and you claim to be keeping the feast days according to the biblical calendar, then this year, because of the discrepancies in the calendar, on this day alone, okay, I don't care if you've already chosen, if you've already paid to go to a different Sukkot site, great. Uh, but this day is so significant that we can't afford it. We cannot afford to make mistakes on that day. So Friday, September the 13th through Saturday, September the 14th, you should be off work already, so you don't have to request an extra day off. Go ahead and just afflict your souls and look at that day as Yom Kippur, and then do it again if you want to. If you're not sure about the calendar, next month when Yom Kippur comes around on the other calendar, do it again if you're not sure. Okay, but this day is so significant. Let's not leave any room to chance here. All right. So with that said, we talked about the feast dates, talked about registration. We're gonna keep that open until the fourth. I didn't even mean to go into all of that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. For those who are attending with us this year at Awaken to Torah at Camp Eagle Rock, we are so excited to be seeing you. We're looking forward to it. We're still putting things together right now. This is our first one, and we've had very little time to prepare for it. We wanted all of the other Sukkot registrations to be closed before we opened ours, so we opened ours late, and we're closing ours early. So we're looking for maybe 100 to 250 people to show up. So not going to be huge this year, but if everybody shows up next year who's been messaging this year, we're looking at 500 or 1,000 people. So I appreciate all the messages. I just stand in awe of what Yahweh is doing here. It's amazing to step back and watch His hand and how He is moving people and pieces around the board. That's the amazing thing. Just to step back and watch His hand at work. So if you're joining us this year, September the 18th through the 26th at Camp Eagle Rock, get excited. Let's come together and worship. I want you to know that we've made the decision this first year. It's going to be super relaxed. We're only going to have 4 main services. Every morning we're going to have some kind of Fifth Sabbath type event where there's a little teaching and some activity to go along with that. Except for 2 days. 2 days we're going to have absolutely free days for families to travel into Branson and maybe go to Branson Landing or do something there. Some people are already making plans to go see David at the Sight and Sound Theater. If you want to do that, if you want to link up with some of them and go do that, it's going to be an amazing time, guys. It is. I mean, I can't. I don't know how to relay to you how much the Holy Spirit has been moving in this thing. Um, and if you're there, I know you're going to be blessed. We want this Sukkot to be focused 100% on restoration of family, restoration of relationship, and no relationship restoration more important than your relationship with Yahweh. That's the most important one, because if you're not don't have a great relationship with Him, then the rest of your relationships are going to fall apart eventually, even if they're great today. So with that said, we anxiously await seeing you on the 18th, and until then, shalom shalom from Awaken to Torah. We will see you then.